Everyone lock in now, laser focus.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Locked In Sports. My name's Samuel Rodriguez, and today Megan Holden will not be making it today due to personal reasons, so we wish her well, but we got to keep the show going. So today we have a special guest, Mr. Bobby Hallback. How you doing today, sir?
All is well. Thank you for asking.
All right. So we're going to get into it. Do you mind telling our audience a little bit what you do for a living?
I'm a mental health therapist and also a sports psychology consultant. So I work with severely mental ill populations as a full-time mental health therapist, and also work with college, professional, and amateur athletes as a mental health therapist in terms of a sports psychology consultant. So it's like I serve a purpose of meeting clients to understand their challenges and roadblocks and obstacles to help them reach a performance level, ultimate performance level, by decreasing their psychological disturbances.
Of course. That's a great thing to do, honestly. I think now more than ever, we kind of need like more help with that, kind of brings some spotlight to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, at the end of the day, in society, you have professional athlete, collegiate athletes, and amateur athlete. But what people forget to understand that mental health concerns does include professional athlete, collegiate athletes, and also amateur athletes, because you got to start with the mindset first. If the mindset's not healthy, how can you expect players to perform at a high level? So it's my passion and pleasure to be able to help those professionals and collegiate and amateur athletes reach a high performance level once we understand the psychological disturbances that interfere with their functioning. When it comes to working with clients just in general, my focus is to help them reach a healthy, balanced lifestyle so they can work through their mental disturbances. For instance, I work with clients that have schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, major depression, bipolar, and just adjustment and transition disorder. So my goal is to help them be able to find that balance so they can operate and perform on a daily basis.
Exactly. And people kind of overlook the professional sports players having these illnesses, saying, oh, you have all this money, all this fame, there's no way you have something going on. But in reality, like, all fame comes with a toll, money comes with a toll, and there needs to be shut on more. So I figured this episode is going to be great, get some spotlight on that, and get some professional insight.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're going to start off. The NBA, we saw Kyrie Irving take a leave of absence due to mental health issues this past season for about a week or so. Do you feel like COVID or any underlying stresses may trigger mental health issues in these professional players?
Well, I just want to start off with a quote in the terms of like mental health as well. Without the mental health, how could you expect to perform? So, and then in terms of COVID impacted everyone globally because of the stress that was increased, the anxiety that was increased, the depression that was increased, social isolation. So you can kind of figure with that being a toll in the world itself, and then you put that in the realm of professional athletes, no matter what professional athletes or whatever arena they play in. Now that's impacted them with more financial pressure, performance pressure, family pressure, the concerns of contracting the virus or losing lost ones. So as being an athlete, now those levels has been heightened because of the stresses that come with that, taking care of your family, taking care of your body, getting along with your teammates, getting along with your coaches. And then prior to these players having this COVID-19 in play, that just kind of added more pressure to them to focus where their focus used to be as in focusing on their professional sports. Now it takes a toll for them to try to compartmentalize and focus on what's at hand in terms of the COVID-19. So it could have been a lot of underlying issues along with the pressure that come with performing at a high level. So that's just like a complex situation where players are like just battling with the contemplation of should I play, or I'm worried about my family, and then I'm worrying about catching the COVID-19 while I'm trying to play. For instance, with the bubble, you had players that backed out because of the concerns of the healthy concerns and reasons and risk factors that come into play. So prior to just knowing that Kyrie was absent for quite a bit of time. It definitely had a lot to do with the mental constraint that was going on and the pressure of helping out the society in terms of his platform to be able to give back to the community and make sure that the community have the resources that they need to get through this or continue to get through this COVID-19. So it was just a pressure outside of the sports arena to also focus on his community and helping others too globally.
Exactly. And we've seen a lot of players have been coming out now. We saw Kevin Love speak about it about end of last season. Kyrie Irving speaking about it now. Do you feel as though NBA players might feel an added pressure to keep any problems hidden due to media exposure?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're worrying about the rejection of your teammates, your coaches, or being fined, penalized, letting down your family members and friends, your image, your brand. So certain things are suppressed and repressed, which is not good for the mindset. So a lot of times these athletes do hold back their true feelings or what they want to say and what they want to talk about because they feel the pressure of the media exposure and what the media can do to an individual on that elite level or that high status. So they're very guarded and reserved about what they're going to talk about and what they want to share. But with Kevin Love opening up and talking about his mental health concern, it helps break that cycle of generational curse in terms of being afraid of talking about your mental health concerns, because the more that you have mental health concerns that go unaddressed or not confronted, that continue to cause a snowball effect where it continue to impact the way you think, impact the way you feel, impact the way you perform. So destigmatizing that whole taboo situation would bring great comfort to all individuals across the platform.
Exactly. I'm glad he spoke out. It does need to be spoken about more. And the media does like to twist and turn people's words, kind of make them look like they're in the wrong. Like the Kyrie Irving situation, we saw a lot of slander going towards him. But in reality, you got to take care of yourself first before anything else.
Absolutely. Like I said before, mental health is wealth. So if you're not mentally sharp, mentally healthy, you can't perform well, you can't operate well, you can't take care of your family, your friends, or whoever may be in your circle and your bubble. So obviously, you got to take care of the mindset before you can take care of anything else.
Exactly. And then going over to the NFL, so along with the NBA, NFL players may be also facing these issues. Do you feel as though the aggressive nature of football and the high head injury rate of the sport could enhance these issues?
Well, yeah, now you're talking about CTE, which is part of concussions, too many blows to the head. So once you have too many blows to the head, that can create memory loss. It can create confusion. It can create aggression. It can create poor focus, concentration. So too many blows to the head can also create that aggressiveness, in nature where you don't have control of what's happening. And it also bring on the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia too. So with the CTE, it's definitely a situation where you can't overlook that. So that would cause problem if it's not addressed properly or intervening quickly.
Yeah, I feel NFL with all the injury stuff, and it's always next man up once you get hurt, more so the NBA. Like when they get hurt, they kind of have to take a step back, and those injuries affect you. Injuries in all sports they hurt your mental health. Like DeMarcus Cousins tearing the ACL twice back-to-back seasons. We saw Klay Thompson tear back-to-back seasons. That does play a factor, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Anytime you have an injury, obviously it sets you back. It puts you on a time frame to work towards recovering, and then in the midst of that, your depression sets in. Your anxiety sets in, and it creates hopelessness. Why me? Questioning yourself, like why me? So obviously with the isolation, feeling that you're by yourself, nobody understands. So that's in terms of that creates a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and then it sets in, and then you go to contemplating about self-harm, committing suicide. So yes, it's very, very important to understand where a person may be once they're going through a severe injury or recovering from an injury.
And do you feel as though these players need to put more focus on themselves and the coaches and owners? Like they need to focus on mental health more than they have been?
Oh, yeah, it's the perfect time to do that now based on everything that's going on outside of the playing field, in the world itself, because at the end of the day, these professional athletes are people first, before they are professional athlete, collegiate athlete, or amateur athlete. So they are not exempt, from society in terms of mental health concerns. So, yeah, it would do well for the coaches, the owners, and the players all come together and devise a plan to have where it's okay to talk about your mental health concerns and being able to address those concerns without being feeling embarrassed or ashamed or being penalized or feeling guilty about opening up. So I definitely support more clinical departments for all organizations.
Yeah, that should be one of the key things they have right now. They should have more mental health consultants on these teams. The owner should be doing more for that, the coaches as well. And I feel like some of these players, they focus too much on the playing rather than themselves. And that's when later on in the career it starts to like develop and they really don't know how to help because the owners really don't do much. So yeah, they should be doing more, I feel.
Absolutely. And once the owner realizes that, then it'll be a collaboration. It'll be a team effort. And then everyone can win, you know, in terms of the mental health component along with the physical component that comes with being an athlete.
Exactly. And so I want to learn about a little bit about you, how you became a mental health consultant. Like, was that always what you wanted to do?
Well, you know, just me being a former athlete, just played briefly on a collegiate level until I re-injured my back from high school to college. So I just want to stay connected with the game. And in terms of me staying connected with the game, that's when I got involved with like coaching, doing traveling team, recreational programs, because I'm very passionate and I love sports. You know, come from an athletic background from the age of 6. Playing college, I'm not college, but playing high school basketball, middle school basketball, elementary basketball, and then just having a niche to stay involved. So that's where I figured, like, you know, I could help more in terms of relating to what I went through with the psychological pressure as an amateur, collegiate athlete, and then also just being able to know friends and family members that went through a lot of psychological pressure. And just learning from them as well as me going through like the steps or the development, psychosocial development of growing up and just being able to identify factors that can create problems in the mindset when you're trying to perform. So that's where I got more involved with knowing that I really love what I do, just being able to relate to personal experience and observational learning, and then just being able to go through different levels of life and just being able to relate to individuals as a coach.
And so you said you played collegiate basketball. Where did you play?
No, I meant to say collegiate football.
Oh, football.
Yeah, I played up in Northwood University, D2 school in Midland, Michigan. I played like a season. And then once I re-injured my back, I decided just to let it go because my health is more important than just trying to get out there and, you know, make a dream to come true with pursuing an NFL career. So I decided just to let it go, you know. Yeah, letting it go was it was tough, but I just had to make a solid decision if I want to be able to get up and move around and walk, you know, without having to be wheelchair around or walking with a walking stick at a young age, you know. So I'm 42. So right now, you know, I feel like I could do more now with the mental component as a mental health therapist and also as a sports psychology consultant, because I can relate on all levels in terms of being a former athlete.
Exactly. And how hard was it for you to know when it was time to step away? Did that play a factor in mental health?
Yeah, like I say, it was the wear and the tear, the contemplation, the depression, and just thinking about the opportunity that I could have had, you know, if I didn't sustain a back injury. And then it just took me a few weeks to kind of get a grip and realize like I still can be attached to the game, but just on a different level, you know, in terms of not being able to play, but also being involved with consulting, mentoring players, and just being involved with that aspect.
Yeah, that's a great thing, honestly, making the best of the situation, and you're still giving back to the game, still helping out these athletes in something that needs to be focused on more than what is. And I feel like the media does play a hard part in that, kind of making it feel like they shouldn't come out, kind of stay to yourselves. You have all this money, kind of stay back. So it's a good thing you're doing this. This is great. Do you have any words of advice for people dealing with this stuff right now?
I mean, the best advice I can give to be able to speak about your mental health, to be able to open up, you know, don't worry about what people are going to say, because the more that you feel like you're going to hurt someone by opening up or hurt others by opening up, it's just only hurting you. So you got to be able to open up and share what's going on in the inside so you can be able to perform the best way you need to. And also just giving everybody else the opportunity to open up once you open up and share your stories.
All right, that's some great advice. Honestly, I feel like athletes do need to look into that more. They need to be provided with more. Owners need to give some help as well. But I'd like to thank you again for coming on the show, sir. This was a great conversation. I loved listening to all this. This is more insightful. I hope our audience enjoyed it as well.
Thank you. Anytime. I appreciate it, Mr. Rodriguez.
All right. So that was Sam Rodriguez at Locked In Sports. We'll see you again Wednesday. Until then, stay locked in, guys. Thank you again for coming on, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure.